joint presentation between myself and my wife. My section's very short because we want to get to the Q&A to deal with your problems. I like to begin with something humorous every time. This was taken in Charlotte Amalie, and I didn't know that dogs barked, smoked, and loitered, because apparently they do. Enough of that. Who are we? I'm an ex-research scientist. My wife is an ex-business analyst. We now have over 100 years of experience in handling a dog. I've got a background sound up there. I think, is that yours or mine? Okay, thank you. Yes, because we have such a high throughput at Area K9, we know how to handle dogs. And yes, over 100 years sounds ridiculous, but it's true. We are dog behaviorists. We are cage-free, very important. A changing pack, it solves many problems all by itself. If we were to rename the business, we call it Dogs in the House, because that's what it is, but we are Area K9. That's how we live. Everyone in that picture is a paying guest, except for the two dogs we're holding. Cane and Abel, they're our dogs. On our website, which is listed up there at the top, areak9.com, we have a number of pamphlets that deal with these specific issues. You're free to download them. They're 1 or 2 pages, and they will help you deal with those issues. Please don't hesitate to get them. Yes, I see you taking pictures. Take pictures. These slides move very quickly, and you missed it. I said they move quickly. In our lobby, we have this collage which tells people what dogs can't do when they're sitting. Sit, a very important emergency command. It can save your dog's life. It can save you from a court case. You need a solid sit. And I see a lot of you are solidly sitting, so you're all well trained. Now, we're going to show a video. This often comes up as a solution to problems, many problems. This is what we call doggy ice cream. And the star of the show is sitting over there in red.
Hello, lovely people. So today I'm going to show you how to make an ice cream. Not just any ice cream, a doggy ice cream. We're going to start with what we need for this. So we're going to need a little bit of the dog food, just your normal dog food that your dog eats every day. We're going to need a bowl. This is where we're going to make an ice cream. With a fork to mash it up. Something interesting to put in. It could be, what do I have here? I have salmon oil, but you can put some other stuff. I'll concentrate on it a little later. A little bit of hot water, and the main thing, we're going to need some cones. So they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. It's a chew toy, essentially it's a chew toy with a hole that goes right through. Make sure it has in and out. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. You're going to have to get the one that suits your dog. So it's, if your dog is big, it should be bigger. If the jars are very powerful, it should be very strong rubber. For the smaller dogs, we have a smaller cones with a kind of softer rubber. So anyway, you're going to have to choose which ones you're going to fill up. So let's start making the ice cream. So I am going to measure a food that my dogs eat. This is a measurement of their breakfast. This is a breakfast. So in it goes. Okay, thank you very much. Not yet. So in the meantime, what we're going to do, this is a measurement for breakfast. If I want to make cones enough for the whole day, I'm going to take the whole day food. There we go. Now, this is a measurement of the dog's food for the whole day. Now I know how much I am making. The next thing I'm going to do, I am going to, nothing else by the way, see? Just that was empty. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to put some water in. This is a hot water. Come on, Zaki. This is a hot water. I'm going to put it in. So, and let it stand for a while. I would like the water to cool down and the food, the dry food that I put in, soak in all the water and swell. About an hour and a half past. So the time is actually really depends on your kibble. Some kibble flares up in like 15 minutes and some kibble almost never. 2 hours later, it's still kind of a little not very good. Okay, so what you do afterwards, once your kibble is swollen, you kind of mash it all up, and it becomes a mess. If you have a few kibbles that didn't quite swell up, that's not a problem either. Then the dog is going to lick out a little nice chunk. He is going to like it. So, if you're using this kibble, swollen kibble like ice cream, just for feeding out of the corn, and this is a good reason to do it, then that's it. You just put stuff into the corn and that's it. But sometimes you would like to give dogs a little extra for it, so you can put a couple of drops of salmon oil, or maybe some sardines, or maybe some peanut butter, whatever your dog likes, just a little bit, not too much. So I'm just going to put some salmon oil. My dogs love it and it's very good for them. Mix it up, all mixed up, and it's all mashed already, lovely. And then I'm going to scoop it all into the hole. So once, just like that, easy breezy. If you have a little bit of extra water in there, no problem. If it's too much water and it's leaking through, then just get rid of water. But anyway, so that's it. You can do that. So then you okay, it's all nicely full. Good job. Next one. So you should use all the paste you made, because this, you know how many meals are in it. So every time you're going to be using this this ice cream for your dog as encouragement or for anything else, you have to take this amount of food out of the daily amount of food. Okay, I think I'm all done. A little bit more. So you don't want to give this ice cream in addition to your normal food. It's instead. So because you know how much is in there, you can always take this amount out of your daily allowance. Okay, I'm done here. The next step, I'm going to go to a freezer. We're at the freezer now. So we just filled it up, and now we're going to just put it in the freezer. Careful, children, get out of the way. I know all of you want something. Just wait a minute. So once it's been there for a couple of hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours, your ice cream is ready, and now you can use it for all sorts of good things. In the meantime, you guys be patient with me. So we're going to get a treat. Okay, how about a sit? A good sit. Good sit. Oh, what a perfect sit. No, you're going to sit.
Isn't that better than the cooking channel? And by the way, the Great Dane was about 6 months of age. Everything we're going to discuss in this is in this book, and a whole lot more. This book we wrote because you kept asking us for a resource. And so there it is. You can either get it off our business site, or you can get it off the book site, or just go to Amazon. Take a picture so you got the name. Good. You got that? Excellent. Last slide that I'm going to put up. I leave this up. I don't talk to these bullets, because at this point we're going to go over to the Q&A. And the star of the show is going to come up here and solve all the problems. But some of these things that we have up on the screen may well get discussed in this part. So, Luda, it's all yours, and we've got to find number 1, haven't we?
There's number 1.
Where is number 1?
Number 1 is there.
Number 1's sitting over there.
Right, that's great. Sometimes I have to actually wake people up into questions. Here you go.
Please tell us your problems.
So I have a question about traveling with dogs on number 1 plane, because I have a very good, I had a very good, well-behaved dog that had we knew the patterns, daily patterns. But how would you get him to change the patterns to go on a plane for maybe 4 hours? That's number 1. And then number 2, when you get to the final destination, how do you get them acclimated to stay in your friend's house so they don't do, even though they're behaved, do the bad stuff?
Okay, so number 1. Oh, can you hear me well? I'm not sure. Can you hear me well? It's all good or not? Okay, so number 1. There are 2 very good things I can tell you. Number 1, do not depend on anything of other than you giving your dog a command and he does whatever you ask him to. My dogs did everything on the command. We used to travel a lot too with our dogs. Wherever we can drive instead of fly, we always took our dogs with us. Right, so Gary's mother used to live in Florida, and we used to drive there for 2 days. We would drive into the gas station. This is all for everybody, by the way, right? We would drive into the gas station. He's going to go fill up the car. Me, I get out with my dogs. I put the bowl, drink. I put another bowl, eat. Then I say, okay, come out, pee. Doesn't matter, grass, sand, blah, blah, blah. I say pee, they pee. I say poo, they poo. At least try to, anyway. We then run around a little bit, get back into the car. We're done for another 6 hours or whatever, right? So how do? You put everything on the command. You do not depend on what environment is going to give you. So put in a command, like all the things, and train them for the different environments. For example, it's very difficult to find grass in Israel. I would have to train my dog to pee on the sand or on a stone or on something else or on the asphalt. So whenever you train your dog to do things on the command, train first in the most comfortable environment, then a little more on the sand, I always say, get your dog to pee, for example, within 5 minutes from your house, and then go for a walk. So then your walk does not depend on the pee. Go into your friend's house. You ask your dog to pee right before you go into the house. Now you're not dependent on what bad things he's going to do in your friend's house. So put everything on a command, right? Well, and every single thing is easy to put in a command. You just need to do it for every single thing, right? So this is it, how you put it on. The other thing is, and the same thing for the flight. Get them to pee right before you get into the flight. Then ask them to lie down. Maybe give them an ice cream. Here's ice cream is very, very good for many, many, many different things. I would call ice cream is a auto-shaping tool, training tool. You don't need to be there. You give them an ice cream, and the dog is lying there eating ice cream, doing nothing bad, just getting slowly rewarded by that slowly unfreezing food. The food that we put into the corn, probably every dog would eat within 5 seconds. Then half an hour, unfreezing, slowly leaking a little bit, lying down, not sniffing around, not being upset, not jumping at the newcomers or like whatever, not running out of the house, just getting rewarded for lying down, having an ice cream. The other thing I would like, this is very big generalization, and I would like everybody to know that dogs are amazing machines that make connections all the time. You know what? We are too. We just think too much. So if we didn't think too much, but kind of like felt it with our gut, we would make better decisions in our lives a lot of the times. So trust your dog. They do know that they will be just fine in any environment they will encounter. Just trust them to be. Prepare them for it. Get them to, so they're not uncomfortable. Get them to pee, to eat, to drink, on the command, and then you're out of, and everything is then out of the way and easy for them to go with. Is it good? I did not tell you how to train to pee on the command. Okay, I am going to do it now. Not every dog needs it. And a lot of the times they'll say, why would I do it? My dog doesn't have any problems. Okay, if your dog doesn't have any problems, then you're probably all right. Then you probably are not traveling 12 hours a day in the car. Or maybe you're not flying somewhere with a dog. Or maybe your dog is okay just to pee on all kinds of surfaces. But some people do go to visit stores, want to go with a dog in a restaurant, want to go all kinds of other things, take the dogs to all kinds of environments, and would like to be safe, just in case. So this is how you do it. It is so easy. You go out with your dog. You don't open the door, kick the dog out, say, pee, come back in. You don't know what he did. So this is what you're going to do. You go out with your dog together. And you're going to watch the dog, what he does. The first time you're going to ask your dog to pee, he's probably going to ignore you. What are you going to do? You're going to ignore them back. You're going to do nothing. Another huge generalization, and I would like everybody to know what it is, to use it all the time, right? So whenever you did not pay any attention to your dog for half an hour or an hour, whatever, you're doing your own stuff, and then you said, "Oh my God, what did you just do?" Because he peed somewhere or like whatever, did something wrong, or jumped on somebody or whatever. Oh my God, he just got your attention. So the negative feedback is the second best to the positive feedback. So don't give it to him. If you don't want to encourage that behavior, don't give it to them. If you want the behavior to go away, ignore it. Walk away from this behavior. If my dog pees in the house, I will zip, put the dog into another room and clean so he doesn't even see what I did. I say nothing, completely nothing. So that's not going to happen again. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take him out. I'm going to ask him to pee. He's not going to say anything, so I'll just walk away. If he pees outside of my command, if he just wanders around and then suddenly pees, what do? Nothing. I do nothing because he did it outside of my command. Now, at some point, because we are smart, we are much smarter than our dogs, we are going to actually notice. For example, a lot of the dogs have the behaviors before they pee, like go into the round pattern like this and try to figure out where to do that. About. Okay, I'm going to tell him now, pee. And he pees. Never mind that he probably peed on his own, but you put your word in there. And if you said pee and he peed, celebrate. Go all the way out. You say, "Oh my God, you're such a good dog." See, like as much as you can do. The differentiation in your feedback is super important. Another great generalization that you should use, anything you train, you need to differentiate your feedback to the dog. The more, for example, you're training a dog to sit. You say sit, and the dog goes, maybe, okay, I will sit. You say, okay, thank you. That's your feedback. He did it, but he took his time. And it was like, maybe yes, maybe no, I don't know. But if you say sit, and the dog, right away. Or if you say sit and the dog is over there and he boom right away to the ground, didn't come to you. He followed the command immediately wherever he was. He said, "Oh my God, you're such a good dog." And anything in between. The differentiation in your feedback is going to tell the dog how well they did. And that is going to speed up whatever it is you're training. Okay? So you celebrate. He peed, you celebrate. You go away and then you keep repeating the same all the time. Now, depending on the age, on how smart the dog is, how, I don't know, like on conditions, or how quickly you react, you give your feedback to the command, how he did, depending on many different things. Some dogs get for the whole process 1 day, 2 days, maybe a week. If the dog is much, much older, and he's like, "I'm not sure what you're talking about, I know how to pee," then it might take a month, it doesn't matter. You don't do anything bad. Another generalization. Whenever you train your dog loves it. Your undivided attention on the dog, so he just absolutely loves it, right? Like there's like he died and went to heaven. For you, if you're just doing it without hurting a dog, without spending too much time, without thinking too much, just having fun doing it, why not? So it can take from a day to a month to, I don't know, 6 months in the end. But it will be over with afterwards. For 15 or 20 years that your dog is going to live, you invested 6 months doing some nice stuff. Why not? So then at some point, your dog is going to realize that he can exchange his peace for something really nice from you, for the rewards that he actually likes. The belly rub, the belly rub, maybe taking him into for a ride in a car, maybe getting them to sleep with you, and whatever he likes, he will exchange them for it. Why would he do it without it? So now there's two things. First of all, he is going to hold off the pee until you tell him to. Even if he wanted to, he's going to hold off because he's going to get something if he's going for it, for the pee, if you tell him to pee and he pees when it is. And the second one, you know what he did when. So it would be very easy to go to somebody's place or to the flight because you told him to pee and he just peed. Like in the beginning, he might actually
peed somewhere outside of your command, so maybe there was nothing there. Just picking up the leg or sitting down, like whatever, for the pee counts. Later, we're going to teach him to actually empty the bladder. I'm not going to tell it right now, maybe ask me later, but we can teach a dog to actually empty the bladder, not just quick pee and go away. And once you do empty the bladder, you are like 100% proof that he's not going to do anything bad anywhere else. Okay, and this way you can teach pretty much, well, every other things, how to eat on a command, really easy, and all the stuff, all of it, every single thing, you train them to do on a command completely separately, and then just give them a command and they do it. I hope this was better. You like it? Good. Okay, next one.
Where's number 2? I see number 3. And I see number 2.
Well,
where's number 2?
I don't remember.
Number 2.
Okay, here it is.
And number 3 is over there in the green jacket, because I remember you.
Yeah, the green jacket.
We have a lab mix, and he and his sister can go inside and out on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And in the evening, right at around 7:30, he goes out and he howls. Just wow, and it's very consistent. He does it, and we don't know why. And so we call him in and say, quiet. But he does it pretty much every day.
Does it upset anybody around that he howls? Got it.
Yeah. Oh, does it upset anybody around? Well, yeah. So our cross the street neighbors have a baby. I don't want our dog to wake up the baby. Yeah, I'm just trying to be considerate.
Okay, well, nice of you. Okay, so your dog likes to howl. And I don't know, I'm just going to make it a little bigger questions than just yours. I'll say sometimes our dogs like to bark. Sometimes things happen like this. So I would say that, first of all, we can't just take it away from them. It would be cruel and unusual punishment, right? Because actually, did you know that when they were first domesticating the dogs, they didn't bark. They did more like a cough sound, like this kind of sound. Then we actually got it, made them learn how to bark so they can alert us to things they know better than us. And then now we want them to shut up. Well, and that's the answer. You let them do it when it is safe. For example, you can take him outside and exercise the howl while you're walking in the forest, when it's safe, or maybe when you know the children are playing. That doesn't matter that he howls. Let him howl, and then that's okay. You just ask him to howl, and he will howl because he likes it. But you should always be able to say quiet to the dog, and the dog goes quiet. So, and it's the same to the growl. Sometimes you don't like the growl, although I wouldn't take the growl completely out of the dog, but whatever, things you know he shouldn't be doing with his voice, you can actually say quiet, and the dog goes quiet. Okay, this is how you do it. And I just want for everybody to understand this. Everybody who did what I'm just about to say succeeded. How many people you know that say, well, we tried everything and it doesn't work. They still can't go quiet on my command. And here's why. Because they're missing the very, very important first step. The first step we need to do is to get the dog to... I'm so sorry. Yes, the very first thing we need to do is to get your dog to speak on the command. On the command. You have to say, speak, and the dog, or bark, or whatever it is they do already, right? So you need to get them to speak on a command. I'll tell you why. The reason is very, 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 very simple. If your dog is already howling at something, or barking at something, or growling at something, you can't compare how important that thing he's barking at and you. Who cares about you? That is most important. The bird, the what's it, mailman, or like whatever it is they barking. So what I'm saying is, you need to create an artificial conditions under which what you say afterwards while he's talking is important to him. That is another huge generalization. Please take it in your mind. Whenever you train any command, You should go back down to the absolute basics, to the artificial conditions under which dog cannot fail. They will follow what you're telling them, the command you try to train, and then slightly increase the difficulty, and then you go into the where you had a problem, and you go past it and train more difficulty. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to teach them to bark on a command or to howl on a command. Easy peasy. The reason you are now asking this question is because he likes doing that bark or howl or growl. He already likes doing it. So we find out what are the conditions under which they like to do it. For example, a lot of the dogs bark, and you will create your own conditions. You will find your own conditions there. But a lot of the dogs bark when somebody rings the doorbell, and they're like, somebody at the door. Or whatever, your conditions, he goes out and howls at whatever outside there. Anyway, so, those are the conditions. Okay, I will create them. I am going to ask my husband to go outside and ring the bell. In the meantime, I'm going to get the dog into the right in front of the door, and the bell rings, and I'm going to say, speak. And he's already speaking. He's speaking at the bell ringing, right? But I put my command in there. Now there is a bit of association there. Then I'm going to do that. I'm going to say, speak 1 second before Gary rings the bell. He's like, oh, okay, speak was the bell, da-da-da-da. Okay, I'm barking. 2 seconds before the bell rings. 3 seconds before the bell rings. 4 seconds before the bell rings. 5 seconds, and bell never rings. But he's speaking in my command. The success is all 100% because the dog already likes to speak, right? So all you do is just say speak, and he does. Including, first you include that irritant that makes him speak in the first place, and then slowly reboot it, and they move it away. Then what do? You make it more difficult. You ask them to speak in the bedroom when TV is going on. You ask them to speak when you're cooking something. Ooh, that's a big irritant. The nose is huge. Then you ask them to speak when you're walking and there's a car going by. And there are lots of cars going by. And then maybe when the garbage truck is boom, 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 you say, oh, speak, right? Anyway, now the dog speaks under all the conditions. There you go. This is your first step. Then now what you're going to do, you're going to go back to the very, very, very basic conditions. You're going to go into the bathroom in the quiet house. You are going to close the door behind you. You might even turn the light off, but and turn the maybe night light on. Now, look what we did. Your whole world of your dog right now is you. There is nobody else to pay attention to. Nothing else to pay attention to. It's a quiet house. You're in a tiny room. It's only your smell. He sees you. He hears you. Nothing else exists. It's only you. You say speak. He's speaking. Then you pull out, I don't know, something horrible, like a boiled chicken skin that you don't normally give it to them, but it's like wow for the dog. And you put it right in front of his nose, and he at least is going to sniff it. He just went quiet. You said quiet, and he went quiet. You just got the basic conditions under which you couldn't fail, and he went quiet. Of course, it's completely artificial. But what we're going to do afterwards, we're going to make it a little difficult, more difficult for him. We're not going to give him a chicken skin. We're going to give him, I don't know, normal, like a liver, a little liver, maybe a little something else, maybe nothing in between. Oh, another huge generalization that everybody needs to know. You can use food or any other prompt that you like to start the training of the command. Anything you want. It doesn't matter what it is. Don't say like, oh, I don't want to bribe the dog. Bribe the dog. Do whatever you need to do. Lure the dog into position or reward them with some kind of extra treat, whatever. But until you still have to give him something for the command you just asked him to do, the command is not trained. So what we do is we give them that big bad treat, then we give him a little less treat, then sometimes we don't, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, sometimes we do, don't, and never do again. And then he still says, speak quiet, and he's done. He goes quiet without any treats in the bathroom. Okay? We just train the command in that specific situation. What are we going to do? We're going to increase the difficulty now. We're going to open the door and say, speak, and he speaks, and we say, quiet, and he doesn't go quiet. You know what just happened? That step that was small enough for us in our brain is too big for him. There's lots of stuff just got into your bathroom, the lights, the smells, the sounds. We don't hear, but they do. I don't know if you were in Gary's talk today. They hear better than us. They see better than us. They smell much, much better than us. So for us, it was a small step. For him, realize he's a different animal than a human. So the distraction for him was too much now. What are you going to do? You're going to divide that distraction in half or quarter or whatever. So you close the door, open just a little crack. Didn't work again. Again, too much distraction. Close all the way, try just one sense. Instead of all of those senses, try one sense distraction. Turn the TV on in the farthest room from where you're training, right? Okay, so TV is going on, it's kind of slight, a little bit of sound. Okay, you say speak, quiet, he went quiet, good, walked. That was step small enough that he was able to break the difference between the closed door and no distractions to a tiny little sound distraction, right? Okay, turn this off, turn the TV on in a closer room. Walked again, because from that little sound to a bigger sound closer to you, walked. Turn everything off again, open the door a crack. Walked now, because he was able to make a difference between the pretty loud sound to no sound, but a little bit of smell and whatever came in, right? So, and that way you keep going a little more, open the door. Oh, very difficult to get to the human being distraction, right? Or child, whatever, to the being distraction. So what you do, you open the door. You can already do this in the bathroom with open door, and then ask whatever, Gary or whatever, somebody. I don't know what's going on. I'm not touching anything. Ask somebody to go by. Oops, didn't work. That was too much distraction. The movement and everything of the human was too much distraction. So imagine this is the door of your bathroom. You're training a dog. Put your accomplice outside the door, and so only smell goes in. No sound that he's walking. No seeing him, no nothing, just the smell comes in. Okay, didn't work, go a little farther from just the door, then closer to the door, then just get him to see a little finger, and then get him to walk in, 1 step, 2 steps, back, then go all through. Do you see what we just trained? We trained something that he couldn't do before, but now we do because we slowly increase the difficulty. So then try all over the place. Try the bigger room, try the kitchen, try the kitchen when you're cooking, which will be different, and then more and more. Huge step for the dog to fulfill your commands when they are outside. Outside for them, it's like they bombarded with all kinds of stuff we don't know about. So what are we going to do? We're going to start from just opening the door. Maybe you are in a room, like wherever you are, just open the door to outside, but ask him to go speak quiet, or any other command. Speak quiet, and he's doing all right. Come closer to the door, maybe just 1 step outside the door and back inside, maybe 1 step out, stay out for a few times, then go, just get off and try something else. Sometimes it's very difficult for the dogs to do it in the middle of the day. Okay, maybe too much light, maybe too much stuff is going on. So what you're going to do, you're going to do it at dusk or dawn, when not every squirrel woke up, when the children are not going by, no cars, no whatever, dusk or dawn. And they'll also try to do it in a closed small backyard. If your backyard is too big, mine is, probably everybody's here, because we can afford this. So what I'm saying is, then find a small backyard. Maybe it's your children, maybe it's your neighbors, maybe it's somebody you met on the street with another dog. They will always help. I swear to you guys. Sometimes you say, where will I get another dog? On the street. You go, start talking to them, and they will help you just like you would help them as well. Okay? So anyway, you find the small enclosed backyard, you do it, and then you do it a little late in the day or early in the day, and then you do it in the middle of the day, and then you do it on a quiet street, and then you do it on a loud street, and then you do it like everything. You kind of look at the world. What else can I find? Something difficult. And whenever you hear unusual sound, oh, quickly, sit, speak quiet. Oh, what a good boy. Lie down, give me a paw. Oh, lovely. The truck went away. Or so anyway, you kind of look at the world and say, what are the difficulties kind of input into this command? And that's what everybody should be doing. Whatever command they're training, look how make it more difficult and more difficult. Then that command that the dog is howling outside at 8 o'clock will be nothing. Because we passed it. We're doing much more difficult things. There you go. I'm sorry it was long, but it's a very good question. A lot of people have this question, so I would do it.
Number 3, and probably the last one.
Hi. I have a 4-year-old standard poodle who I adopted when she was 2 years old, and she's really well behaved, affectionate, she's really smart, except for when we're on a walk and we pass another dog, she goes insane. She barks, she howls, she pulls. It's like I don't exist. I'll have the best treats, bacon, chicken, doesn't care. She just goes nuts. But if we meet the dog on the street, or I have a friend and they bring their dog over, she's fine. She likes the other dog. It's just when we pass each other on a walk, she goes insane.
She's on the leash, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay, that was the last very, very good question Gary asked. So whenever the dog is prevented from doing whatever they want to do, they feel whatever they feel 40 times more. So for example, if I was a dog and I wanted to say hello, I would have said hello, hello. But if there is a leash and the leash is pulling me from saying hello 40 times more, I want to say hello. That dog says, oh my God. Oh yeah, you don't? And it goes up. So first of all, get him off the leash. Of course you can't. Because in absolutely all jurisdictions that I know, if you're outside of your house or specific environment like a professional environment, you have to put the dog on the leash when you're walking around. But then what you do, you can run fast enough that the dog never thinks that you're pulling him back. Whenever we go to the park, Gary says, your dogs. Because my dogs want to say hello to other dogs, and he can't run fast enough. So I have to run fast enough that the leash never tightens in general. So run fast enough. How do you know that your dogs are not going to, yes? Okay, how do you know that your dog is not going to bite another dog? I want to ask you one very, very simple question. Has your dog bitten anybody so far? I'll tell you something very important. Your dog is not very good at biting them because you have a poodle. He is nice and strong. There is nothing in the world you can do if your dog decides to bite. Nothing. He might want to look furious. He might think that I will be big or whatever. I don't care what he thinks. But if he decides to bite, you cannot hold them. You cannot be fast enough. He's like 100 times faster than you. There's nothing you can do. So that's not what he wants to do. He doesn't want to bite anybody. What he wants probably is to say hello to them. Now, I'm going to run a little bit more. So, and what you need to do is, number one, run with him. Maybe first run in a specific conditions, not to any other dog that you don't know, but maybe to the dogs that you agreed with somebody on the street sometime before that they would participate in a training. Maybe that. Maybe you would like to kind of slow the wall down a little bit to help him to not get too fast. The wall is sometimes too fast. You go, they go, double. Maybe sit down on the bench somewhere, wait for the dog to come, and reward your dog for being nice and quiet and paying attention to you instead of the other dog. Maybe that's it. Maybe train your dog, help your dog by training them what is the greeting procedure is from your point of view. Here's what greeting procedure is from my point of view. I am seeing somebody with a dog going towards me, right? I do this. Sorry, oh no, it works. So I do this. My two dogs go and sit like this. Then they sit there and look at me all the time. So what's next? What's next? Here's a generalization. If any command you give to your dog, they should stay in this position until you release them. You say, okay, all done, you can do something else. Or you can give them another command. That's the only way they should get out of their sit, down, like whatever, out of any other command that you told them. That's the only way. You give them another command or you release them. So here they are sitting, looking at me. I meet the person. I am not responsible for their dog, but I am responsible for mine. Mine are sitting there with the bombs like glued to the ground until they tell them otherwise. Then, so then I talk to the person. The person says, oh no, I don't have time to do it right now. I have to go away. Okay, they go away. I say, okay guys, we're going this way. Nothing ever happened. They didn't even say hello to that guy. If the person says to me, yeah, okay, let's say hello. I say, okay guys, go say hello. They will come, they will get up, they will go sit in front of the dog, maybe let them sniff a little bit. Never put their face in, maybe put their butt in front. That's what dogs do. It's fine for them. And then I say, okay, you can play, not just say hello. And then they can play a little bit, and then we walk up. As soon as I say, okay, let's go, they'll go with me. How did I do this? Number one, huge generalization again. Number one, whenever you don't like what your dog does, that's a half a way of where you need to go. The other half is very, very important half. You need to know what it is you want from them. Saying, don't do this, takes you nowhere. What you should do, you should say, oh, I don't like this. Do this instead. And I'm out of time. Okay, so then you train whatever it is you envision, how you, see what I told you? This procedure was very, very well clear in my head, that I was able to teach every little piece of it separately and then introduce it into the situation with the dog. Separately. This command called side. This is how you train it. You give the dog the treat and do this and up. And the dog sits down here. Anyway, I can tell you more about that later. I'm sorry, I have to run out. But
there's another event coming in, so we have to pack up and leave. But please, you have more questions, find us on the ship. Dog questions to my wife, any science-related issues to myself. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the theatre, I will be addressing climate change. Thank you.
yeah.
All right. Give it one more time for this very, very, very important talk about dog. Always Dr. Kramer. Welcome.
you.